I always knew there was deer out here, but these are all fresh tracks from the last time we were out here. Just everywhere. So they're here, just not during deer season, I guess.
Nowhere yet. Okay. Nothing.
Pretty close. That's more like it. I knew we knew how to build a fire. Look at that thing sizzling. Well, we got a good fire going this time. Just a few factors that all kind of converged last time that made us fight so hard, but I think this is going to give us a nice bed of coals that we can add to. Some of you all may be wondering, why do you guys use so much cardboard? Isn't that kind of cheating? And we got some more back here. Yeah, maybe kind of. But you know, we've never proposed to be expert outdoorsmen or anything like that. The main reason, honestly, that we use it is we used to have a cardboard trailer in town that we could take it to for recycling, and a few months ago they stopped that. So we had a bunch of cardboard piled up that, especially the bigger stuff, it just doesn't work really well to incorporate into the normal trash. So bring it out here and burn it. Kind of kill two birds with one stone that way. And the first log is on. I had to run Thomas to town. He's got an appointment for a little bit. So we threw a couple logs on and ran and did that real quick. Burned down to a nice bed of coals, and so I just kind of stirred it up and threw some more cardboard on. And we are charring. So we've got this one and that one. And that'll be the last full log to be charred. Like I've said before, when we go to really fine tuning this, there'll probably be some we'll have to trim here and there. And so then have to re-char an end, kind of like this one. And then some of these that we've charred in the dark, I've noticed in the daylight that they didn't quite get all the way charred. So that one will have to go on at some point. The top of this one could use a little bit more. The whole side of this one. Oops. But like I've said before, it's they really don't have to be bomb-proof. I mean, there's not going to be that much contact with moisture with being up on the concrete slabs. There'll be a little bit, obviously, along the edge, but I really don't think it's going to be too detrimental to them at all. Put a little char on them, get that moisture sucked out, and get it kind of sealed up, and they'll be fine. And if they're not, especially along the edge, we can always jack the cabin up and replace post at about any given time. So anyway, that's where we are. We're just going to sit here and char for a while. I don't know how well the camera is going to pick up on this. Not sure how well that shows, but you can see and hear the moisture cooking out of that. And if you'll remember, these posts all came from an ash tree that had died from the boar ash beetle and had been dead for a while. So that just goes to show you how much moisture they retain for quite a while. And the advantage, I believe, in the charring is to cook all that moisture out it's just going to delay rot for hopefully many, many years. More years than I'll have to worry about it anyway. Maybe it'll be a headache for Thomas, but hopefully it'll last me quite a while. Okay, I got to run back in and get Thomas. Threw some little stuff on there to keep it going, but I would say post number 1 back here is basically done. Post number 2 right there. We still need to get the end on that side, and we're maybe about halfway there on the end on that side. So we'll get back, we'll finish these up, and got one little other project before we call it a day. Okay, pulled the first one off. It's obviously still smoldering, cooling off, but I think we got a real good char on that one. It's looking pretty good. Went and picked up Tommy Boy, so he's back out helping. And another helper who's less than helpful, but he's very excited about being out here. So we basically just have the ends of the last log to char, and then we'll be able to call it a day. Okay, so that's what we have for the woodshed, at least the floor, foundation of it, for what it is. I just had these old shingles, asphalt shingles, laying around. They really weren't doing anything. So I just kind of laid those around the exterior, thinking anywhere the wood made contact with the ground, just to kind of preserve the life of the pallet. And then I went over the wood pile and got some of that punky wood, and used those to kind of prop it up. I do have a little gap in the shingles there, but because it's up off the ground, it's really not a big deal. So that's what we're going to have for the woodshed floor. It's probably going to look about like that for a while. It's really not a huge priority for us at this point. We really don't get huge snows typically, although we did last year. But just start stacking firewood on there, and that'll keep the airflow good and keep it from, the bottom ones from rotting out. And then eventually throw up some 2x4s and a tin roof. But with the last post on the fire right now, almost completely charred, our attention is going to solely be turned to getting the skids set, making sure they're level, and then building the floor. Once we get the floor and the subfloor done, the walls will go right up. And then the rafters, I've never actually put up rafters, so there might be some challenges there I'm not aware of, but rafters and then the tin, and then we've got a closed-in box, and from there, it's just tweaking things and just making it more and more what we want. But it'll be a cabin for whatever that means, but it'll be a place we can come out here and stay and keep warm and stay overnight and just enjoy some more time out here.
Okay. It might not fall, but
Timber.
it's still attached.
Yep, I'll finish chopping through it.
Yeah.
Good work though. This is how the real lumberjacks do it. Good job. Okay, we just threw the last of the cardboard on. We got one end charred, although I see a little spot there that probably could use a little more. And working on charring the other end right now, and then we're going to call it a day. Temperature's definitely dropping. Sun has gone down. I think it was 17 degrees when we got here. with a wind chill of about 7 degrees. And so it's dropping pretty quickly. Our helper number 2 that came along is very, very cold.
Yeah. It's cold out here.
Are you cold, Bingley? Oh, you got the beard sickles again. Oh, are you shy? Okay, sorry. So we're going to finish up and then call it a day. All right, big milestone. So as you can see, we've got every post charred. That one's still smoldering. I just pulled it off. And then again, of course, there's only 2 posts down here because this little rectangular area right here is not going to be in the cabin. It's going to be covered by the roof. Kind of just a little, eventually I'll build a little deck here, but we'll just have a couple steps up into the cabin and some spot to hang coats and tools and stuff like that that's a little bit covered. But yeah, we've got them all charred, and I actually wound up with 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 extra, which is good. In case some of these just aren't the right height, that we can cut one of those down and then just char the end. So next step, which is going to be not a very fun step, but pulling the skids over. They are pretty heavy, but we're talking about hopefully trying to get that done before all the snow's gone. I think it'll slide along the snow a little bit better, but we'll see. We all know how my plans go. We get the skid set on, and then we'll bring out the level and see how close we are, and make little adjustments here and there. I'm sure we'll have some shimming on some of them. I'm sure we'll have to trim some of them down, but hopefully just some minor adjustments. Get the skids set, and then go to insulating the floor and then laying down the subfloor. So we're gonna let the fire die down. Just gotta throw the last bit of cardboard on there. We're gonna get the cold dog home, get the cold boy home.
My ears are cold.
But as always, hope this video blessed you guys. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you next time.